Welcome, everybody, to this special Friday night dog show.
Rousing, obviously. It's not Friday night.
Monday.
I thought you said Friday.
Did I say Friday? It's Monday night, and it's Monday Night Football. And boy, do we have news for you, hot off the press. It was a train wreck, not the game, which we didn't watch, because we are boycotting the NFL. Our dogs are providing our entertainment by doing a fairly non-violent wrestling match here, which you can hear in the background. And we want to welcome you to the Burke Brigade. I'm Matthew Burke.
I'm Jennifer Burke.
And we're the Burke Brigade, brought to you by the fast-growing conservative alternative to the Drudge Report,
The Liberty Daily.
Go to thelibertydaily.com, thelibertydaily.com, your conservative alternative to the Drudge Report. Okay. First of all, this is hot off the press. The Dallas Cowboys apparently are no longer America's team. And it broke our hearts. We were at the gym doing our nightly workout. And, you know, we were talking with our trainer. Guys, come on.
Guys.
Zip it.
Boys.
Sorry, guys. And so, anyway, our trainer is fairly apolitical, but he's also conservative, but he's apolitical. Does that make sense? In other words, he's an American. And he bet me anything that Jerry Jones wouldn't let the Cowboys kneel.
Right, because Jerry Jones just recently gave an interview saying that that is not the time, during a national anthem, is not the time to stage a protest.
Right. But what did the Cowboys do?
You know, pick a freaking side, Cowboys. They tried to play both sides. The team went out together, Jerry Jones included, coaches, owners, players, and before the national anthem played, they all were in a line together and they all kneeled down,
Right.
including Jerry Jones. Then, when the national anthem started playing, they're probably like, okay, we'll appease the Black Lives Matter America haters with kneeling down before the anthem to show solidarity and unity.
Throw the Marxist cop haters a bone.
When the national anthem began playing, then they all stood up.
Popped up magically.
And linked arms. Now, I guess they thought that would appease their fans, you know, who support, quote-unquote, America's team, or the former self-described America's team.
Here's what Jerry Jones said in a 2016 interview. Now, this was in the midst of cop-hating, a communist Castro-loving quarterback, unemployed quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, was disrespecting the American flag. Here's what Jerry Jones said then. For anybody to use parts of that visibility, you know, the platform that the NFL has during the game, is what he's talking about. I'm reading part of it. To do otherwise is really disappointing. We strongly support the flag, and I guess I'm going to have to read more of this. I thought I could shorten this. Okay, here it is. I feel so strongly that the act of recognizing the flag is a salute to our country. Excuse me. And all of the people that have sacrificed so that we can have the liberties we have. I feel very strongly that everyone should save that moment for the recognition of the flag in a positive way. God, I got a frog. So I like the way the Cowboys do it. The forum of the NFL and the forum on television is a very significant thing. I'm for it being used in every way we can to support the great contributors to our society. That is people that I have supported, America and the flag. For anybody to use parts of that visibility to do otherwise is really disappointing. And boy, do we agree. We strongly support the flag in every way and the people that for generations have given it all up so that we can get out here. And then today, he led what was supposed to be a sign of unity. You know what? Why isn't it a sign of unity for you overpaid elitist bitches to get off your damn asses and stand for the national anthem? Why isn't that? Why? Okay, what Trump said is divisive. But yet you sitting for the national anthem, or, in his case, cowardly sitting before the national anthem to try to make some kind of half-assed statement.
That's not divisive.
How is that not divisive? I thought the Pledge of Allegiance is what unified all Americans.
Right. It used to be until the left. We've seen the left take control of the school system, K through graduate school, every aspect of the school system. We've seen them work to take care of even a preschool system, wanting to get kids in school as early as possible so they can indoctrinate them with their Marxist bullshit. We've seen them take control over all the news media, or most of the news media outlets, social media, search engines they control. They work just like their brethren on the left, the Nazis and the Marxists. Think about how many times Hugo Chavez, he controlled the message because he was always on television. They work to control the message at every single level of society. That is what they do. And so I guess it shouldn't be shocking that this is where we've now come to. The one thing that used to unify the country, we've seen them attack, take away prayer in school, tell kids they can't wear patriotic shirts, tell kids, you have the option not to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Take the 10 Commandments off the wall in the schools. How'd that work out?
Take the 10 Commandments down. I mean, and this now is where we're at. The national anthem is
divisive,
seen as divisive
and racist
and controversial.
And so Donald Trump, and I'm not going to give...
And you thought it would end with the Confederate flag.
Right. The left is trying to destroy this country by using divide and conquer tactics. And we are not Trump ass kissers. We are not sycophants. But on this issue, he's absolutely right. And I don't think he's clever enough to do this politically, but if he is, he's more of a genius than I'm going to give him credit for. But they are walking into his trap. In essence, what they're now saying is, if you salute the flag, that flag represents Donald Trump.
Right.
Donald Trump's the flag, and so we're going to disrespect the flag or something because we hate Donald Trump.
Right. Donald Trump is not the flag.
Donald Trump is not the flag. One or two cops that may have done a misdeed are not the American flag. In fact, local police officers represent the city or town that they represent.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with the American flag per se, other than they're good patriotic Americans overall and risk their lives to defend us, and these same rich elitists, are protected by police officers all the time.
Right. At the stadium, police officers doing extra duties. I'll bet you anything, if they had a robbery, they would call 911 to get the police out there.
Oh, they shouldn't do that because, the cop's probably a racist. Okay, speaking of cops, there was a police officer who protected the Buffalo Bills for 30 years. And at Sunday's game, he walked off. He threw in the towel and he quit.
Good for him.
This is on Conservative Tribune. His name, I may not be able to pronounce, Eric Nicka. I
can't see it very well.
Nikischer, whatever. But he posted this on Facebook, and I'm quoting, after 30 years of working for the Buffalo Bills, through the good seasons and a lot of bad ones, and I'd have to agree with him, the Bills have had a lot of bad ones. I mean, they haven't been good since Jim Kelly. Quote, I was finally pushed to my limit today and had to quit. I could not work in a place where multimillionaires cry that they are oppressed. Kaboom!
They're slaves!
Yeah, can I have some of that?
Getting paid $1 million or more a year.
And he showed a picture of himself walking out after he'd quit. And he says, a picture of me walking out after the disgraceful display on the field. And I think what he may be specifically referring to is Bills running back LaShawn McCoy was actually on the sidelines stretching during the national anthem. That was the message that he wanted to send.
And as the great Matt Walsh said, case you don't follow Matt Walsh on the Blaze, just calls out
Cultural warrior.
Calls things
Righteous.
out. Just boom. He said LaShawn McCoy may as well have been pissing on the American flag.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what? Not only was it the last straw for this Buffalo Bills police officer, but it was the last straw for us.
Yep.
For the first time since the 1970s, I turned off the Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
The 1970s.
Now, I admit I have not been a fan as long because I grew up in Houston.
But you've been an NFL fan.
I've been an NFL fan, and I've been a Seahawk fan ever since I moved to Washington in 2005. Supported the Seahawks with my husband and boys were all big fans, and so I was a big football fan. I did too, and so how did we catch wind of that? Did someone were we a little bit behind? And then I think I might have seen something on Facebook. So I went to the Seahawks Facebook page and saw their lame statement explaining how they were basically disrespecting the American flag
in unity
out of love of country.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right, and when we saw that, boom, immediately we turned it off. And I have to read this written by a friend of mine who's a veteran. He said, hold on, almost there. I swore an oath 4 times, and there is no expiration date. I say the pledge, and I believe every word from the depths of my soul. I have absolutely no such loyalty when it comes to these petulant, spoiled children that are kept by better men than themselves if they disrespect the things I most care about. Screw them. You don't support my team, I sure as hell won't support yours. Not one dime and not one more moment of my attention until they get their acts together. And he wasn't alone. I saw it on the Seahawk Post explaining their lame attempt to explain their disrespect of the flag. Many people who have been fans for decades,
like us,
like you, been fans since they came into existence in the league, who said, I'm done.
Yes, I watched Jim Zorn to Steve Largent.
I went on a righteous Facebook rant, and I said, you know what? The moment the Houston Texans pull something like that too, I'll be done with them. But right now, I'm rooting for the Texans and the Cardinals. Those are I've been a Texans fan. I'm from Houston. They all stood together, linking arms. I have no problem with them linking arms. They're showing unity and respect to the flag.
Right.
And everything it stands for, which is not Donald Trump. It is, what did someone say? The red stands for the blood shed by people who have fought since this country's inception and have fought to protect her and her honor and her values and her name around the world.
And they're not listening. They're not listening. They know what the American flag stands for. That's why they wanted to destroy it. By the way, I'm just looking here. Take a quick look at the NFL logo, the crest. It just happens to be red, white, and blue with stars, just like the American flag, and the letters NFL written in the exact same colors as the American flag.
Bait and switch.
And so hopefully capitalism works here, and there are enough, red-blooded Americans out there that love the American flag better than this, what is turning into a politically correct, progressive propaganda league known as the No Fan League. As Michelle Malkin said over the weekend. Yeah, it's going to soon be known as the No Fan League NFL.
Way to insult your base.
Yeah. Well, this happens with pretty much every big company eventually. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it was, IBM, which fell, or, they made a comeback, but it took a couple decades, or Sears, or Kmart, or who it is, or, General Motors or whatever, who had to get bailed out.
Right. Look at Dell Computers. We were talking about this the other day. They were hot. They were highly successful, and then Michael Dell, I don't know, you might know this, I don't know if he was forced out Or if he stepped down.
I could be wrong, but if my memory serves me correctly, the board forced him out.
Yeah, so the board forced him out. What happened after that?
It
tanked.
Right.
They were not any good.
And then he ended up coming back. Same thing with Steve Jobs.
And how did they come back?
He came back.
They brought Michael Dell back. They got back to their roots. And you know what? You want to change your roots to the poisoned, anti-American social justice warrior crowd, NFL? Go ahead. As someone said,
2% of the public.
Won't be able to buy tickets to go to your games. You're busy living in their mama's basement.
Yeah, I hope you can give out tickets, because social justice, in its root, is communism. That's all it is. This equality BS. These multimillionaires, if they wanted equality, they'd all be paid the same.
Yep.
They'd give away all their millions.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, you wouldn't have held out for a fatter contract and would instead taken league minimum so everybody can make league minimum. You know, maybe ticket prices could have been less then.
Right, and then some poor people could go to the game. They don't care about that. It's utter bullshit. But the point I was trying to make, any business that does not understand their customers, that loses touch with their customers, that lives in their little elitist neighborhoods. The NFL is, in some high rise in New York, they're not in touch with their fan base. They have no idea what their fan base believes. It's very similar to this election. Right. It reminds me of why Trump got elected. They don't understand real America. And not only that, they don't care.
No.
They don't care about their customers. They should not get political on the field. If players want to make political statements, they can exercise their free rights. Their freedom of speech off the clock. When you're employed by a company or an organization, you don't have any free speech.
Right.
You can't say whatever the hell you want. You're representing the organization.
Yeah.
You're representing your company.
These idiots, I think it's great they're using their platform. You know what? Use your platform on your own freaking time. People watch sports to escape from everyday life, not to be freaking indoctrinated with your progressive bullshit.
You're entertainers. You're entertainers.
Right.
Just like these lefty entertainers, the George Loonies and the Matt Damons and all these global warming frauds. And people don't want to hear that crap.
Right.
You turn on sports to escape from that.
Right.
You don't want to be indoctrinated and brainwashed by a bunch of lefties, America-hating lefties.
Right, and you know what? They said to protest against racial injustice.
BS.
I am 47 years old. I do not recall such racial divisiveness, and I grew up in the South. I do not recall such racial divisiveness in this country until your false god lefties, Barack Obama, came into office.
And started stirring the pot.
That gave him the platform, that gave him the bully pulpit to stir the pot, to divide this country. I didn't hear you guys talk about divisiveness and hate. He said many hateful statements toward Christians. He literally used government agencies to attack Republicans and conservatives and Christians. Literally. And
literally.
He didn't
indisputable.
say a darn word. Not a word.
It's all political.
So spare me with your soapbox BS. Go throw the ball, catch the ball, run the ball, score a touchdown, tell me about the play, and otherwise keep your freaking mouth shut.
Too late, we already turned out. Good luck getting us back. What kind of apology is it going to take for them to win back the millions of fans that they're literally taking a dump on? It's going to be right.
I hope next week stadiums are empty. I hope they're half full. I hope it's very noticeable. But I bet you anything, if they are, the liberals that run the networks will handily forget to show the crowds. They won't show the crowds. Like tonight with the game, Cowboys versus the Cardinals, where the Cowboys took a knee and then stood up trying to split the baby with the bathwater, as you say. Monday Night Football, typically, I read earlier, they typically did not even show the national anthem. But tonight, they decided to.
Yeah, because they have their whole intro thing. Okay, speaking of why Trump won, Here is Greg Popovich, who I did a little background research for him, and maybe this is why he tends to be an America-hating commie. He majored in Soviet studies, but I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Coinkydink.
Here he is. Hashtag why Trump won. Greg Popovich. Idiots like him.
Discussion has to take place. It's obviously, race is the elephant in the room, and we all understand that.
No, we don't. We don't understand that at all. It hasn't been the elephant in the room for 50 years.
Yep.
But unless it is talked about constantly, it's not going to get better.
And you know what? And when there is no racism, we're going to make shit up and call them microaggressions. Now it's, we can't actually see any racism. We can't find any. We can't identify any. So now we have to make shit up.
Right.
And call it a microaggression. In other words, you're a racist. You're a racist even if you can't see racism because we can't identify it. That just means you're a racist because you can't see it. They're literally delusional.
Literally.
People get bored. Oh, is it that again?
Yeah.
They pull the race card again. Why do we have to talk about that? Well, because it's uncomfortable.
Here comes the race card.
And there has to be an uncomfortable element in the discourse for anything to change.
How about this uncomfortable discourse? You are an America-hating communist. How about that? Is that uncomfortable enough for you?
It's an LGBT movement or,
you forgot the Q.
Yeah. Forgot the Q, you bigot. What, the Q?
Fridge, race, it doesn't matter. People have to be made to feel uncomfortable. And especially white people, because we're comfortable.
Then why don't you give your job to a black guy? You're white. Last time I checked, he wants to make white people uncomfortable, but that's not racist. You know what? Keep doing it. That's what got Trump elected, you absolute idiot. This should literally be Trump's campaign video right here. Is this imbecile?
Right. You just, you're so self-absorbed and on your freaking mighty soapbox that you pop off at the mouth, Popovich, and you don't even realize how much your ish stinks.
Right. No, his ish don't stink. There's the other white people. The other white people.
Yeah, and look, let me tell you this also, Popovich, as a black woman, I don't need you to play God Almighty Protector to me. I have a God, and it's not you. It's Jesus Christ, the Father, and the Holy Ghost.
Amen, sister.
And you ain't the Holy Ghost.
Preach it.
You do not have to be my freaking protector. Get rid of your God complex.
We still have no clue of what being born white means.
I tell you one thing it means. It probably means I ain't going to play in the NBA. Because last time I checked, about 80% of the players are black.
Yeah,
and boy, would I love to be, oppressed with about $10 million a year.
Right? Wouldn't Popovich support the NBA teams being a reflection?
Yeah, shouldn't they be exactly a reflection of the general population?
Shouldn't it
be? I mean, every place else has got racial quotas.
Yes, it should be.
And
why
you know
are there
what?
so many black people?
I'm a 5'9" fat ass. Why am I discriminated against?
What percentage of foreigners do you have on your team, Popovich?
Oh, he probably has several, but the fact of the matter is 80% are black, and I'm a 5'9" white fat ass, and I am being discriminated against.
Right? Yeah.
Why shouldn't I get some social justice?
Break it down, Pop.
Justice. I want some justice.
And if you read some of the recent literature, you'll realize it really is no such thing as whiteness. But we've kind of made it up. That's not my original thought, but it's...
Okay, so are you taking advantage of your whiteness? Kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, why, like you said, hon, why doesn't he give his job up to a black person?
I mean, that would only be fair. He's obviously using his white privilege.
Why isn't this white privileged man only accepting the salary of what the average American worker makes?
It's
and
greed.
giving the rest up to
Utter
charity.
greed. Obviously, it's greed. Greed and capitalism. He ought to know the evils of capitalism, being an expert in Soviet freaking studies.
Right?
It's true. And it's hard to sit down and decide that, yes, it's like you're at the 50-meter mark in a 100-meter dash. And you got that kind of a lead. Yes, because you were born white.
He actually thinks there aren't poor white people in this country. Hashtag why Trump won. Why do you think Trump won in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, and all those states where Republicans hadn't won in 30 years? Why does he think that is? It's this race-baiting, race-hustling, white self-loathing guilt trip that these elitist white snobs like him, try to poison American minds with.
You have advantages that are systemically, culturally, psychologically there.
Here we go. You can't even see him.
What does any of this have to do with basketball?
Not a damn thing. He should shut his freaking mouth. I can't listen anymore.
I gotta read you this.
What is it?
Did viewers really boycott Sunday Seahawks game?
Okay, did they?
The first 2 games of the year posted a 40...
Wait, who's this from?
My Northwest.
MyNorthwest.com. That's one of the local stations up there.
Yeah. Cairo compared. Cairo 7 is the local station in Seattle. The first 2 games of the year posted a 40.7 household rating. Sunday's game, 34.5 for a decrease of 15%.
Wow.
And among the 25 to 54 demographic,
which is the key demographic,
first 2 games had a 32.7. They must have written this wrong because they said Sunday's game posted a 24.1 for a decrease of 26%. So they must have something.
No, that's correct. That's correct. In other words, 5% of 20, is not 5%.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
a 26% drop in the key demographic.
Right, 26.
But solidarity.
Solidarity. Serenity now. So the NFL is not imploding yet, but they are levying. Is that a word? Levying? Levying? I don't know what I'm saying. They are doing self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted by shooting the fans that are writing their checks.
Right. They're showing that, we've said for years, liberals don't really care. They get to a certain point. They don't care about the money. They're making money in one area. They'll push their message no matter how much it is rejected.
We've seen that with Hollywood.
Yep.
They'll do something, put out one patriotic movie, one, halfway Christian movie or family values movie, and it'll make so much money that it'll fund the rest of their filth for the rest of the year. But the problem is the NFL can't do that. The NFL is going to go down in flames if they don't get their act together. Now you can bet that Roger Goodell, who's a big lefty making $30 million a year, he's going, but that's not greedy or anything. He's going to probably make the NFL pregame shows more patriotic than ever. I mean, I can just see the announcers wearing American flag shirts and military hats and everything else. And it's just going to be propaganda, because what's going to happen is they're all going to sit for the national anthem. And it's going to go over like it always does, like a fart in church. Now, the NFL would argue, of course, well, they got rights. They got rights. Rights. They got freedom of expression. Freedom of expression. We have to allow our players to do freedom of expression because we have a First Amendment, don't you know? Okay, so let's just see how consistent that the NFL has been on this freedom of expression bullshit and their First Amendment bullshit. Because in reference to the NFL, that's what it is, pardon my French. Okay. I am old enough to remember that RG3, who is a born-again Christian, and by the way, is out of the league, and probably as good, if not better, than Colin Kaepernick, but nobody is rioting trying to get him a job for some strange reason.
No, they only want Black Twitter only wants to come out with RG3 when they attack his white girlfriend.
Right, but not long ago, the NFL forced RG3, Robert Griffin III, to turn his no, as in K-N-O-W, no Jesus, no peace, K-N-O-W, no Jesus, no peace t-shirt inside out because, according to NFL management, it violated their code of conduct.
Violation!
In regards to... Fine! Penalty! In regards to conduct. Apparel. And at the time, an LA Times reporter, Chuck... I can't say his name. Chuck reported that RG3 had been fined $10,000 for wearing a t-shirt with a Christian message on it.
Can't have that.
Oh no, he don't have no freedom of expression. Here's what the LA Times, not exactly a right-wing site, said about the fine when RG3's freedom of expression was stepped on. The quote, the NFL has pretty strict rules about what players can and can't wear at the stadium on game days at any time might be visible to the public. Players' outfits can't feature personal messages, either in writing or illustration, and cannot honor or commemorate individuals, at least without league approval. Oh, is that right? So why did cop-hating, communist, Castro-loving Colin Kaepernick get to wear his Fidel Castro t-shirt?
I guess Roger Goodell is showing his solidarity with the commies.
I guess so. I mean, it says right here, he's quoting from the league rule book, can't have personal messages, either in writing or illustration, that honor or commemorate individuals. Now, is Fidel Castro an individual, or was he just promoting communism? Anti-freedom communism.
Right. Either way, that freedom of expression was allowed, and RG3's wasn't.
Why wasn't RG3's? What about the cop-hating, cops are pigs, socks that Colin Kaepernick was wearing?
Right. Again, Roger Goodell must be sending the message that he believes cops are pigs. Like
because
Colin Kaepernick.
that would not have been allowed according to NFL rules.
Right.
According to the lefty LA Times reporter, even. So this stuff about, oh well, you got to let the players, sit for and disrespect the flag because, hashtag freedom of speech is utter BS.
Right, and I don't recall the left chanting about freedom of speech when the actual government wanted to force Christian bakers and florists to participate in homosexual weddings.
Which is a First Amendment violation.
Government, not a private entity, the actual government. Local, state, some of these people found themselves sued by local, state, and federal governments. Governments.
Right. The First Amendment is about the government oppressing free speech. Private companies, you sign on to work for them and follow their code of conduct. And guess what? If you don't like their code of conduct, you can get up and walk out and quit and go work for someone across the street that has a different code of conduct. So when Colin Kaepernick signed up for the NFL, he knew what he was getting into.
Till he met his Marxist Muslim girlfriend.
Right. Which means he's pussy whipped. But I digress. Okay, so why does the NFL allow this?
Because they're commie lovers, very obviously.
Either that or, more than likely, Roger Goodell makes $30 million a year. He's a good capitalist.
Roger, you should only be making $45,000. Isn't that the average of what the average American makes?
Somewhere around there.
$45,000. What's wrong with you greedy?
Greedy bastard. Okay, I think it's because the left is violent. And the NFL doesn't want the Black Lives Matter's Marxist terrorist group to burn down their stadiums, to light things on fire, to throw Molotov cocktails like they do whenever they don't get their way in cities like, Baltimore,
right.
Ferguson,
like violent,
Missouri,
petulant children.
Berkeley. They don't want Antifa coming in shooting people, beating the hell out of their fans with baseball bats, that type of thing. So instead they kowtow.
Right.
They say, you know what? We're elitists. We live in these multi-million-dollar mansions. We're so overpaid.
Gated communities.
And here are these poor lefties, trying for equality. So let's suck up to them. Let's throw them a bone. Screw our fan base, the 99.8% of our fans that actually love the country. Let's throw a big, fat, greasy bone to the America haters and try to keep them happy. And you know what? It's not going to work. You'll never make those people happy. They have to be squashed.
Never.
Let them do the violence and then arrest them, throw them in the slammer.
I have a prediction.
And throw away the key.
I have a prediction after these these insulting anti-American demonstrations by so many NFL teams. I have a prediction that Black Lives Matter will succeed in strong-arming an NFL team into hiring crappy Kaepernick.
Oh, they're already trying to do that. There's a rapper today. Let's see if I can find it on the Liberty Daily today. I'm not exactly into rap, which I think is crap.
Neither am I, hon, and I'm black.
I do have all the rhythm in the family.
So he likes to tell himself.
So there's a rapper, Cardi B. Cardi, C-A-R-D-I.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Give me
the
a
letter
break.
B. Cardi B. It's on the libertydaily.com, thelibertydaily.com. It's in column 1, the left side of the page. Cardi B threatens to boycott the NFL if they don't hire communist Castro-loving cop hater Colin Kaepernick. And Cardi B, who I guess is a female, even though that's a social construct. I'll watch baseball. Well, I don't think baseball is kowtowing to the commies.
Right.
So what good would I mean, that's ignorant.
I'm confused.
I am too.
This makes no sense.
Maybe Cardi B has good music.
I have no idea who you are. Secondly,
I don't
you're
care.
one person. Third, do you even go to football games? Can you name a team?
I doubt it.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. Okay, are we done beating the hell out of the NFL? No, we are not. There's one more story here that we're gonna take a look at.
Is this one?
This is Ben Roethlisberger. The Steelers were one of the teams that walked out.
They refused to go onto the field for the national anthem.
For the national anthem.
There's the Steelers, the Titans, and the Seahawks. Let these people know who they are. Tennessee Titans, Seattle Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, who play at Soldier Field, who refuse to go out for the national anthem.
Right. And, our Burke Brigade official stance on this is if you go out and stand for the national anthem from a symbolism standpoint and you're locked in arms, I don't personally have a problem with that.
Right, me neither.
I don't know what the hell statement you're making, but to me it's not disrespectful to the flag.
No, you're standing.
I think you should stand with your right hand over your heart, like we were taught as children before the communists took over the schools. But, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. So we will give them a bit of a pass. But sitting on your fat ass, that's a different story. Okay, so Ben Roethlisberger, he gave a statement today in which he said, I wish the Steelers had stood up. So good for him. He said, I appreciate the unique diversity in my team and throughout the league and completely support the call for social change. I hate this part. He's given a damn hat tip. Social change and the pursuit of true equality. Well, true equality, then give up your millions. Okay, that's pretty easy. So I hate that part. But then he says, moving forward, I hope standing, this is the good part, I hope standing for the anthem shows solidarity as a nation, that we stand united in respect for the people on the front lines, protecting our freedom and keeping us safe. God bless those men and women, Roethlisberger said. So that is what we opened with, how the national anthem is unifying as Americans. Right. If you don't stand for the national anthem, get the hell out.
Right. It used to be the thing.
If you're not an American, get the hell out.
It used to be the thing that unites us, national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance. Why do you think when people become citizens of the U.S., they say the Pledge of Allegiance? But see, the left doesn't want people to have allegiance to America.
They want global citizens. Yes. One world government. Yeah. All bought and paid for by George Soros. Complete phonies for the most part. I mean, there's some true believers in that horse crap, but for the most part, none of them did. I mean, you didn't have open borders Democrats even up until 10 years ago, until George Soros started writing checks.
Mm-hmm. Bring down the country so he can make more money, 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 money. That's George Soros' MO.
Yep. Okay, so we are big fans of Louie Gohmert. God bless Louie. Louie Gohmert. Where's he from? Tyler, Texas?
Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, Texas. Texas forever. And, I mean, this is a little ballsy. John McCain, Rhino John McCain, of course, is against any kind of any attempt to even, very partially repeal Obamacare. Or any part of it. I mean, these latest attempts are really phony repeals, but they do repeal parts of it. So one could argue they're, steps in the right direction. But Louie, even though...
My fellow Aggie.
Yep. Even though John McCain, who we call here Rhino John Latrine, is going through brain cancer, is calling for Arizona. He's insinuating that, I don't know if this is just a Louie slip-up, but sounds to me like he's calling for Arizona to recall John McCain.
Here, they should.
Let's play this from Fox and Friends this morning.
We have to talk about that, the possibility of that happening again this week. What do you think the chances are first? Give us that.
Well, I think it's better than half because it has to be. And, God bless John McCain. We know that the biggest inhibitor of overcoming cancer is stress. Let him be recalled and go back to Arizona and deal successfully with overcoming the cancer so that we can get good health care for the rest of the country.
What I found interesting...
Let him be recalled by Arizona so he can go back. God bless him. John McCain. Let him be recalled.
So he can deal with the stress.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be doing him a favor?
One would think.
I mean, you would think his family would rein him in and say, you know what? You're walking around on your deathbed. You've got grandkids, for God's sakes. You don't need to be doing this anymore. Are you going to literally do it till, God forbid, you pass away on the Senate floor? I mean, is that the way you want to go? Go spend time with your last moments, from your family. And, sadly, the diagnosis for him, according to him, is very, very, very low.
He has a very aggressive form of brain cancer. I'll say it, maybe no one else has said it, but I'll say it. He himself has said the diagnosis for him is grim. I believe he has a very aggressive form of
he does. Cancer, he said the percentages of recovery today are like in the single digits.
But brain cancer. Should we be concerned about the votes that John McCain continues to take?
I don't think so. I think he has been a rhino for several decades now, and the cancer has not affected his rhinoism.
Well, what I will add though, hon, is that,
what does that mean?
If John McCain were a conservative, CNN would be a continuous panel every hour talking about how we should probably not be trusting his votes now, and how far back should we look and question his votes?
Right.
That's what would be
that's
happening.
exactly right. You're exactly right about that. And, he... I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Why weren't you listening? Why can't you?
I was listening.
Your job is to complete my thoughts.
Oh, okay.
Nobody. Okay. All right. So now I think we are completely done with beating the hell out of the... oh, wait.
We don't have to.
LeBron James?
We don't have to.
Is he not worth
Well,
it?
you brought it up, so now I have to at least say a little something about it.
No, I can talk about
a little something for the folks. In the words of Barack Obama. Look, I'll just say this. I'm gonna read this one quote. LeBron James, dude. There's been the argument for years now, who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I don't think there's any question Michael Jordan was better. Michael Jordan won more championships. Michael Jordan also knew when to keep his mouth shut.
He was also fun to watch. And you know what else Michael Jordan, who has probably made more money by Air Jordans than
Exactly.
I don't know if that's true, but he's made a lot of money.
He didn't do anything to tick off his fan base.
He said, you know what? Paraphrase, Republicans buy tennis shoes too.
So he didn't say anything to tick off his fan base.
He wasn't dumb.
LeBron James, who was so effective for Hillary Clinton in Ohio, campaigning with her, that he helped her lose the state, decided to pop off at the mouth over this whole protesting against America deal. And I just want to read one thing two statements that he said. Talking about Trump and the comments that Trump made about, and players who disrespect the flag, disrespect the flag during the anthem should be fired. He said, the thing that kind of frustrated and pissed me off a little bit is the fact that he's now used the sports platform, to try to divide us. He doesn't understand the power that he has for being a leader of this beautiful country. He doesn't understand how many kids, no matter the race, look up to the President of the United States for guidance, for words of encouragement. He doesn't understand that.
Hold on. Who used the platform of sports to politicize everything?
Yep.
Who did?
Right.
I think it started with Kaepernick, with his, cops are pig socks, and Fidel Castro, and crapping on the American flag. Who politicized sports?
Yeah, well, and just talking about the leader of this beautiful country. He doesn't understand the power he has. He doesn't understand
how I think he does.
Kids look up to the office. Well, LeBron, I have news for you. You could have said a lot of the same stuff about Barack Obama.
Oh, he
who attacked Christians, who attacked people in Middle America.
Different skin color.
Those who cling to their guns and religion, as long as that religion was Christian, who set up a website attacking his opponents, high money donors, who unleashed the powers of the federal government on everyday Americans around the country who are simply trying to live their lives and exercise their First Amendment right.
Oh, can't do that.
To criticize the government, but no, it couldn't happen in Obama's America. And I just want to read this other part. What makes me more sick than anything? We are at a time where the most powerful...
Hold on. I gotta say one thing. Has he ever watched ESPN? Or as a relative of mine calls E-lesbian? I mean, he goes, we're at a time, like when the president is politicizing sports. ESPN is basically MSNBC with footballs.
Right.
I mean, ESPN has become progressive propaganda.
We are at a time where the most powerful position in the world has an opportunity to bring us closer together as a people and inspire the youth and put the youth at ease on saying that it is okay for me to walk down the street and not be judged because of the color of my skin or because of
no one's doing that.
Okay. Again, LeBron. Barack Obama did not work to bring the country closer together. In fact, white people were being... Old white people, pregnant white women were being knocked out in a knockout game. I didn't hear your fat mouth chime in about the hatred and the divisiveness in this country under Barack Obama.
Oh no,
when
that's
Barack
okay.
Obama said they bring a knife to the gun to the fight, we're going to bring a gun, and all of a sudden we started seeing this rise in attacks of black people on white people. I didn't hear you say a dang word.
Oh.
So you know what, LeBron, who supported race-baiting Hillary Clinton and race-baiting Barack Obama, who badmouthed Americans who simply disagreed with their political views, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, bounce the ball, put the ball in the freaking basket, and shut up. I hope what happened to the NFL with a decrease in ratings happens especially with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but the NBA with a decrease in ratings. America doesn't want you to lecture them, LeBron, especially when your lecturing is one-sided. You act like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were these saints who brought the country together. No, they didn't bring the damn country together. They worked overtime to divide the country.
Because that's what Marxists do. And we are not Trump butt kissers or sycophants, but I am not going to accuse him of dividing the country when he simply called for people to be unified around the national anthem, which is the unifying event for the country. It's a one thing that we used to all be able to be unified.
Yep.
And by the way, I rant about this nearly every episode. We were not founded on diversity of ideas. We were founded on the unity around a fixed number of principles that work throughout society, and godly principles, Judeo-Christian principles, things like, radical ideas like freedom of speech and, all men are created and women are created equally, that the government shouldn't be able to spy on you, which Obama violated over and over
say
again.
Anything about that, LeBron?
Obama spying on reporters like Fox News' James Rosen.
And his
that's
parents,
not a problem.
And his
parents. Calling the Tea Party, who simply want the Constitution to be followed, tea baggers, but yet. Social justice warrior, Commie Pinko LeBron James, what are you doing with your money? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and give away 98% of it? Because you could do that and still have a very nice life.
Right. Remember when this song today, I'm surprised the left isn't trying to ban it.
What is it? Don't play it, we'll get copyrighted.
No, can I sing it?
Yeah. Well, probably.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Lee Greenwood.
Where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Remember?
Yes.
That song. I remember going to Girls State when I was in Texas and singing that song side by side with people of various ethnicities and backgrounds. The American Legion sponsored Boys State and Girls State.
Right.
Singing that song in the rotunda of the Texas Capitol and having people stop and listen to us and clap. Why? Because
it was unifying.
I'm this little 15-year-old black girl proudly singing about how much I loved my country.
That's right.
How much I loved my country and still love my country to this day. And now, pride in country is painted by the left as being xenophobic.
Oh, that song
and racist.
It's a racist dog whistle. It's a racist dog whistle to the white supremacists somehow. Or microaggression. They're absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. They should be locked up and be placed in padded cells. But it's a good thing I'm not a dictator. Okay, which I don't actually want to be. And it's a good thing. Okay. We are going to sign out here on this.
Oh, tell people about Wiener.
Oh, yeah. There is some good news today. Speaking of justice, I mean real social justice, Anthony Weiner got his wiener stepped on today, and I have a feeling it's going to be stepped on a lot more. because he got sentenced, the progressive pervert, to 21 months of hard time in prison. So we're going to end you with that little bit of great news.
Great news.
To our 2 listeners, you know who you are. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning into the Burke Brigade. We really appreciate it. And we hope you'll continue to listen. We hope you'll share us on social media. Right, hon?
Right. Share us on social media. Share us with all your family and friends.
God bless you guys. We love you.
God bless America.
And God bless Texas.